Welcome to Car for Car Podcast. Car for Car Weekly? Anyways, this is the Bar for Bar Weekly coming to you from my car. This week's been pretty light, as has the last couple weeks. But there are a few things that we need to touch on. Such as Kanye's album not coming out, which we'll get into towards the end. This video is going to be a lot shorter because it is from my car and I gotta go to work. Anyways, same as last week, Tekashi 6ix9ine's trial is still ongoing. The only major revelation that happened this week was that his brother, who was also his driver in the kidnapping video, apparently was working with the police the entire time. So he's been an informant for Tekashi 6ix9ine pretty much since that kidnapping, and no one knew. So, well, he didn't know especially. So the tables have turned on him pretty significantly. Also this week, Danny Brown released his track listing for You Know What I'm Saying. But, I mean, it's nothing too surprising if you caught one of his Twitch streams. So, I mean, you're getting production from Q-Tip. You're getting features from JPEG Mafia, Run the Jewels. You know, pretty much everything you can expect from a Danny Brown album in 2019. The biggest news this week, though, is Kanye's album still hasn't come out. So, most of y'all know that Kanye has a pretty bad track record of releasing albums on time. The closest he got recently was with Ye. Like, that actually, I think that dropped either the same day or the day after it was originally announced. Even all the albums that he did for, I guess you can call it Surgical Summer, but all those albums I did last year, with the exception of Daytona, came out either between like 12 hours to like 3 days later. Yeah, I think Daytona was the only one that actually came out on time. But it's also possible that that one was the one that he worked on the longest, so he already had it ready. With that said, though, Kanye tends to announce albums and then just doesn't release them. In recent years, we had TurboGrafx 16, which I believe was announced right after The Life of Pablo. And I think that was supposed to be slated to release that same year. And that was in 2016 when it was announced. So 3 years later, still no TurboGrafx 16. Also last year, after he announced, or after Ye came out, well, we didn't really hear anything right away, but a few months later, actually, about a year ago today, actually, he said that his next album, Yandi, would be dropping on September 29th, originally. And I think that was supposed to be right after his Saturday Night Live performance. But then it didn't come out. So then we waited. So it was later pushed back to Black Friday of 2018, according to Kim Kardashian, that is. And in the meantime, Kanye had just kind of disappeared off to Africa to get some inspiration for the album. So it seems that Yandi was never actually done. It was just kind of an idea that Kanye had. And it's possibly just still an idea, because clearly it's not out. But that brings us to his supposed upcoming album, Jesus is King. I say supposed because it's September 27th. Ain't here yet. It's allegedly supposed to drop today, but who knows? It might drop later this weekend. We'll see. We'll keep you posted, obviously. But it only gained any sort of hype because Kanye pretty much confirmed that it was happening. See, a few weeks ago, Kim Kardashian, again, had posted something about this album, which was really just a track listing and the September 27th date at the very bottom. But, I personally just chose to ignore it because I didn't want to get fooled again. And I think that's what a lot of people did too, but then people started believing it. I touched on it in this article that's posted on barforbar.com, but basically it all started from Kim Kardashian posting it, and then the following week, I believe it was the following week, Kanye confirmed it at a Sunday service, and then as we got to this week, we heard nothing. So everyone's just kind of speculating, oh, is it actually going to come out, or is he just fucking around? I think he's just fucking around. But what also kind of throws it off is that you have Kim Kardashian reposting tweets from this guy talking about Yandi, or not Yandi, Jesus is King. Saying, I think it was on Wednesday, he's like, oh, 2 days, Jesus is King. So, like, why would you retweet that if it wasn't supposed to come out? A little weird. It's also interesting because that person is one of the few people that Kanye actually follows. So, that person definitely holds some weight in what he's saying. But things get a little weirder because you have a bunch of other pages posting about Jesus is King and kind of speculating. I believe Genius posted. It was just a fucking meme, but like, oh, my face when Jesus is King actually drops, and then Cudi had retweeted it. So, or it was, I think, if Jesus is King actually drops. So if you have someone that close to Kanye actually retweeting that, either saying that he likes to mess around and joke, or who knows if it's actually dropping. We're probably looking too into it. But here's another thing. We have a tweet from Def Jam that went up last night with literally just a picture of Kanye and the prayer emoji. Like, come on now. That's saying something. Anyways, we waited till midnight, both Eastern and Pacific time. Still nothing. And now it is currently 9:37 a.m. on Friday the 27th, and still no Jesus is King. So, we'll see what happens. It could just be like last year, where all the releases just decide to show up whenever they wanted to. The biggest thing, though, is that no one from Kanye's camp has really confirmed nor denied anything. So they may be just as out of the loop as us. We'll see, though. In the meantime, we have other albums to listen to. The biggest release is probably going to be from DaBaby. He dropped Kirk, which actually has the most gospel-sounding song ever, titled Gospel, featuring Chance the Rapper. And no, his verse wasn't just him yelling, I love my wife. We also got an album from We also got an album from Young M.A. titled Her Story in the Making. And then we also had Kevin Gates dropping I'm Him. I don't have anything in front of me, so I'm just kind of guessing. I mean, those are probably the biggest releases this week. Oh, also, Daylight decided to drop an album titled Jesus is King. So, Jesus is King is here. Anyways, that's all I got for y'all this week. If there are any updates, clearly we will post about them on Instagram or Twitter. But, as usual, please like and subscribe. Comment below with what you want to hear from us in the future. And tell me why I'm wrong about Jesus King. It might come out. Who knows? Okay, bye.